Halloween is actually a week away.
It's getting closer.
Yeah, and so while we're usually thinking about costumes and candy, we should also be thinking about our pets or the pet in your life.
Absolutely. Our next guest is going to share some tips to keep them safe during all of this spooky fun. So joining us live in the studio is Hannah Stember from Best Friends Animal Society. Hannah, welcome to New York Living, along with your friend
Casper.
Casper.
This is Casper, is super friendly, and you gave him a little, what's that, little mouse?
Yes, and
toy?
he is loving it.
He's already
practicing his boxing.
As well he should. Okay, so we've been talking about this all morning. We the two of us have dogs, and you have a cat. What are some of the tips that people need to know? Because I think it's really cute. Oh, I'm going to dress my dog up as...
Whatever.
Whatever.
But you got to think about the safety, right?
Yeah, especially when it comes to costumes, you know? Like, things can be dangling that are choking hazards, or if they're walking, they could step on them and trip. You don't want your pet to be uncomfortable or have trouble breathing. So you want to just make sure that whatever it is, it's a positive experience and not a negative one.
Yeah, you do see some of them, they put these masks over their nose. And
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, that may not be...
But also, our pets, at least not that we know of, can't speak to us. They can't say, Daddy... Yeah. I know I'm a dog. You're dressing me like a bodega cat, but I really don't want this. So are there cues that we can take from our pets when we put them in a costume that we love, but maybe they're like, get me out of here?
Yeah, I mean, if they're not willingly going in, or, you know, they kind of just, like my dog, if I put him in anything, he just kind of drops to the ground. Right. So, you know, that's a good sign that they're not feeling it. So if it's not a positive, happy experience where there's, you know, smiling and wagging the tail, then, you know, probably better off to just let them be
au naturel.
But, you know, you can still give them, like, Halloween treats that you make yourself, or special pet treats that are made by different brands, you know, get them in on the fun that way.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, and that's something we should consider too, I mean, there's candy all over, often loose and laying around.
Human candy.
We have to keep a careful eye on that, right?
We do. I mean, I think most of us know by now that chocolate is bad for animals, of course, but there's other things that are in candies like xylitol, which is an artificial sweetener, that is bad for pets, and sometimes that's in peanut butter too. So we really have to be careful, with what we give our pets. It's better, like I said, get them their own treats that are made for pets, rather than trying to share the candy that you've collected.
We started buying Halloween candy very early this year.
Of course,
it was my way to bribe them to go back to school. And I just
heard... Your pets or your children?
Both. I just heard a smattering of what could only be a gazillion Reese's Pieces. I went into the kitchen, and Gavin looked at me, and he went... And the first thing he said was, "Keep Nico out of the kitchen." And I was like, all right, at least we have a parenting win. But it can be a little scary.
It can be.
Candy, what are some other things that we need to look out for?
You know,
especially if we're taking our pets trick-or-treating with us.
Yeah, a lot of them, you know, get scared in big groups. Even pets that are considered friendly and easygoing, you know, it's a different night. You know, people are out and about. Their kids are running around screaming. You know, there's lots of costumes. So it's better to just leave them at home. And if you have a lot of trick-or-treaters, if the doorbell bothers them, you know, you want to make sure that you keep them maybe in another room, quiet place with soothing music, so they can be
That was
relaxed.
always the challenge, even with my other dog. But every time the bell rang, it was a whole thing. So I would just literally stand by the door. Don't ring the bell.
Yeah.
Here's candy. Don't ring the bell.
Yeah. Put a sign on your door too. That's a great idea.
I get anxiety trick-or-treating. Can imagine a pet. But decorations also, there were some hazards embedded in there too.
Yeah, of course. Lights or anything that can dangle. Jack-o'-lanterns, like if you put a candle in them, that's a hazard. So anything you're going to decorate with, just make sure it's out of the reach for your pets.
He's having a blast.
Casper wants to make his way over to you because you are the cat whisperer.
Casper seems very, very intrigued with his... Bring the
Either
toy
that or
along.
have some agüita, poor little kitty. Are you thirsty? Talk to us about Casper, because Casper is up for adoption.
Casper is up for adoption. He's from Best Friends Animal Society right here in New York City. He's about 2.5 months old, and he is...
thirsty.
It's filtered water, I promise you. He's very thirsty.
He is...
Good boy.
He is fixed, vaccinated, and ready to go home. So if you'd like to meet Casper, you can stop by our Soho location, 307 West Broadway, or visit our website, bestfriendsny.org.
This is fantastic.
He found the watering hole.
He wasn't nervous. He was just thirsty. And there's his little mouse toy.
All right.
Fantastic. So talk to us. Up for adoption, Casper. all the time. Just go to your website.
Yes, you can
and
go
cats
to our
and
website.
dogs.
We have cats and dogs. You know, Best Friends is on a mission right now to end the killing of pets in America's shelters by 2025. So the more animals we can get adopted, the more space we have to help those shelters and end the killing.
This is fantastic. We love
thanks
having
so
you
much
here.
for the great info.
Casper, you have been fantastic.
Well-behaved boy.
Come on, yeah, just go.
Very
Make
intrigued.
your way. Make your
Very
way.
intrigued.
Go sit. Come on my scripts. They don't mean anything.
It's okay. Well,
Thank you
thanks
so
again,
much,
Hannah.
Hannah. Thank you so much,
you.
Casper.
See you
And
later,
remember
Casper.
to learn more about Best Friends Animal Society and how to adopt or foster a pet. Visit bestfriends.org/New York
There goes your water.
City. Is that right?